And he said, Thou canst not see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. And it shall come to pass, while my glory passeth by, that I will put thee in a cliff of the rock, and cover thee with my hand. I will pass by, and I will take away my hand, and thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. The only people who saw the face of God were Adam and Eve, and that was before they sinned. The only way man will be able to see the face of God again is when this mortal puts on immortality and this corruptible puts on incorruptibility in order to see the face of God. That's why it is necessary for this changing of this body, because we know that this body is already cursed. And the way I've been waking up in the morning with all these pains and all these other things going on in my body now, it's definitely taking a beating. I don't know if it's cursed or not, but it's sure giving me a lot of pain. But I'll tell you this, I got a new one coming, and I know that in this new body, not only will it live forever, but it's going to give me the privilege of looking God in the eye. Because I cannot look at God in the eye in this present body, because I would die at the sight of his glory. Now here's a question we all need to consider. What's our relationship with God? What is your relationship with him? What is your prayer life like? What is your study time like? What is your relationship with God? Moses had a very good relationship with God. He spent time with God. He was in his presence. And that's exactly what we have to do on a consistent basis. All of us, including me, have to spend as much time as possible in the presence of the Lord so that we may be blessed in his presence. And then we can hear clearly from the Lord. Spend time with him. I tell you what, for every hour that we watch TV, give him 15 minutes. For every hour, give him 15 minutes. And that ain't a whole lot to be saying, talking to the God that created heaven and earth. For every hour of TV, give the Lord 15 minutes. Quiet time in the presence of the Lord. And see if God won't inspire your life. Moses got his instructions straight from the mouth of God. There was no middleman. But in our particular case, Jesus is that middleman. Those of you who made our class this morning, you understand that. Because he stands in the middle of life and death. He stands in the middle between us and God. He is that anchor that holds this whole thing together. Without him, then there is no salvation and no relationship with God, because no way man can get to God except through Jesus Christ. Now, what was the instruction Moses got from Adonai? All the heads of the 12 tribes were to write their names on their rods. Now, we don't know the names of the 12 heads, the 12 princesses of the 12 tribes at this particular time, but we do know the heads of the tribes according to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, write these down. For those of you who don't know these names and what they mean, write them down, then you'll have them. Those of you who have studied this with us before, you can go over your notes again and review them. The first is Reuben. Reuben. His name means, behold, a son. The next to be born to Israel was Simon. His name means hearing. Hearing. Third is Levi. His name means adhesion. adhesion. Fourth is Judah. His name means praise. Judah means praise. The next is Dan, not Daniel, Dan. His name means to be judged. His name means to be judged. The next is Naphtali. His name means wrestling. Dan and Naphtali's mother is named Bilhah. She was the handmaiden of Leah. So Dan's and Naphtali's mother was named Bilhah. Next is Gad. His name means good fortune. Good fortune. The next is Asher. His name means happy. Gad and Asher's mother was Zilpah. Gad and Asher's mother's name was Zilpah. She was the handmaiden of Rachel. The next is Issachar. His name means brings reward. Issachar. His name means brings reward. The next is Zebulun. His name means habitation. Zebulun. His name means habitation. Reuben, Simon's, Levi's, and Judah's, and Issachar, and Zebulun's mother was Leah, the first wife of Israel. So Reuben, Simon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, their mother was Leah. The next is Joseph. His name means may he add. May he add. And finally, Benjamin. His name means son of the right hand. Son of the right hand. Joseph and Benjamin's mother was Rachel. Benjamin and Joseph's mother was Rachel. Now, the meaning of these names I got from the New Analytical Bible. But these are the 12 heads of the 12 tribes of Israel. You may not learn them all, but you should have some idea of who they are. Because I believe these will be the part of the 24 elders that will be judging in the last days. Now, Numbers 17:1, has everybody got them? Does anybody want me to go back over any? Everybody got them for the most part? The New Analytical Bible. Analytical. Now, Numbers 17:1 concludes with, write thou every man's name upon his rod. Remember, when I began this teaching, I told you that the elders wrote the names of their children and any special events that happened so that they can keep the tradition of their families. And they would write them on there so that it would be passed down from generation to generation. This way they would have an account of their families. So we need to understand that because of the rods that we're getting ready to talk about, that we're talking about rather, God has worked through and performed mighty and great wonders. Now we're going to stop here for today. We're not finished with Aaron's rod that budded, but we'll stop here for today, and then we'll pick it up and continue on and talk about the rest of these rods. My time is up, and I do thank you for yours.